The power of crypto is on full display for the entire world to see right now. The conflict in Russia and Ukraine, regardless what you think about it, is in part being shaped by crypto, by Bitcoin, by Ethereum, by Doge even. Now, the Ukrainian side, the sympathizers have donated nearly $54 million through donations of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and others, and Ukraine is using it for bulletproof vests, for food packages, bandages, night vision goggles, etc. Half of the suppliers are willing to accept crypto, and the rest are paid with crypto converted into euros and dollars. Now, on the Russian side, crypto is rendering many forms of international sanctions completely obsolete. They are converting their wealth into crypto. If you've been following what Putin has been saying on crypto and his stance on Bitcoin, he was starting to be a little bit against it. He was starting to move towards Russia should look at creating their own or regulating Bitcoin, but then he actually moved towards it, and this was like weeks before he started the war, because he knew he's always a few steps ahead. He's been stockpiling gold. He has a lot of cash and a lot of different bank accounts all over the world that you would never even know or hear of, and he's got boatloads of crypto. And not to mention, I believe that China and Russia are most likely working together. And so this whole sanctions of we're taking them off of SWIFT, we're taking an oligarch's yacht, this is not really going to put the real pressure on Russia. I believe energy dependence on Russia is going to suffocate Russia much quicker. But also remember, China has an amazing payment system. Why wouldn't China just come along, help out Russia, hook them up with their payment system? Also, all of these sanctions moved very, very quickly. Now, in a way, that's good, right? All these countries banded together, Germany, Canada, America, NATO allies, they went and they placed really harsh sanctions on Russia. But what happens is, if you empty your clip, you don't really have too many bullets left aside from actually getting involved in the war. And I feel like that's where we are currently, because again, we took them off of SWIFT. We've done so rather quickly. Why would the Russians even think of getting back onto SWIFT? Let's say Putin's taken out in the next couple of weeks. Let's say Russia overpowers Ukraine. Let's say the war calms down, chills out months from now. Why would Russia re-enter SWIFT? What trust would they have? And so they turn to something that is decentralized, deregulated. Now, is it really deregulated? Is it really decentralized these days? When we talk about crypto, that's a hotly debated topic because honestly, we saw with Canada, they seized certain wallets. Crypto exchanges that are operating in certain countries, they have to listen to the governments. They are moving towards regulation. These crypto exchanges are moving towards regulation because it helps them out, because people feel more safe to operate within the ecosystem of the specific crypto exchange. Now, something interesting is, and with anyone that has even a basic understanding of crypto knows that you could just put your money and your wealth into hot wallets, or better even, you could put it into cold storage, which is stored offline, and there is no way for any government to freeze or seize your funds. It is completely decentralized. Now, Bitcoin, crypto, the hardcore enthusiasts, they will say, listen, it doesn't matter if Russia is doing savagery in Ukraine. It's very, very sad. Everyone feels for the Ukraine people right now. But they would say crypto doesn't have really a moral compass. It's just code. It's like a smart contract. It just exists. You're supposed to be able to send and receive money wherever you are, and they're against sanctions on actual crypto. They believe that that hurts the mantra of crypto because, again, it goes into the whole idea that right now, I believe, and I believe most of the world believes, what Russia is doing is wrong. Putin's war, it's irrational, it's illogical, it's crazy. I know some, they say there is reason for it. Ukraine was beefing up its military. They were trying to get into NATO, all this jazz. We're not here to debate politics. If you want my opinion, I think that Russia is clearly in the wrong here. I'm certainly rooting for Ukraine, but I also hope that not too many perish in the process, because I don't know how I feel about a lot of countries virtue signaling, sending a lot of stuff there saying civilians must fight, protect your country at all costs and all that. Because what I see is a bully beating the snot out of someone that's weaker than them, and the weaker guy is putting up a good fight. And I see a lot of strong men just standing on the outskirts, watching the fight, not ready to jump in because that would be direct conflict with the bully. That would start World War III. So we're throwing some painkillers, we're throwing some sticks and saying, take the painkillers, fight back with the sticks, maybe you'll have a chance. And we want to hoorah, show it on all the news stations and all that jazz. It is a crazy situation. Again, war, it's the saddest thing that could happen. Highly unpredictable. It's a global chessboard right now. It's very, very disheartening to see what's going on. I'm originally from Moscow. I got family and friends all over the Ukraine, all over Russia, all over Eastern Europe. So for me, it's very, very sad to see. But to circle back to the moral compass of Bitcoin, of crypto, it is not supposed to be where somebody gets to decide, hey, this is wrong, so let's go take away their ability to trade crypto. Because even though the world right now believes that Russia is in the wrong and should be punished heavily, sanctions, even though right now is as good a reason as any will ever be to go ahead, put a little more financial pressure on the people of Russia so that they rise up, they stand up against Putin. And we're going to do that by hindering their ability to buy and sell crypto, to go after cryptocurrency exchanges and say, you must freeze wallets that have anything to do with that region of the world. Then it becomes the question, well, what happens when there is the next conflict? Because remember, a lot of wars, conflicts, they're not as clear cut as the Russia-Ukraine one was, even though a lot of people would argue that even there, most people don't understand both sides in the full story. But think about this, when in 2003, we went into Iraq and we said, listen, there's weapons of mass destruction, but then there weren't. And a lot of people feel a certain way about Iraq, Afghanistan. Now, what happens in that type of situation? What if people are donating to Iraq or donating to Afghanistan to fight back against America? What would happen in that situation? Because there, it's not as clear cut. The reasons for going to war, who's right, who's wrong, and so who will be the overall deciders? Is it going to be the EU? Is it going to be NATO that's chosen as the policeman of the world when it comes to crypto? What is crypto then? Is it really decentralized and deregulated? It is not. So this begs the question of what is right, what is wrong, what are the morals around crypto? And a lot of the hardcore enthusiasts, they will say that there is no right and wrong and there is no moral compass. Crypto just exists. It is available for everyone to hop on and use the system, and there should be nobody controlling it. And so it's a hotly debated topic. I would love to hear your thoughts because I can form an argument for both sides. And I'm very curious on what your sentiments are. Do share them in the comment section. And as far as the war, I think it is really spiraling out of control. Initially, I thought this would be done in a couple of weeks. It would be just a little bit of bluffing, a little bit of giving up. But the Ukrainians, they're so tough. The Russian people are tough as well. I'm telling you, again, I was born in Moscow. I know a lot of people from Ukraine. My grandparents are from the Ukraine. The mentality there is a fighting mentality. If you're walking down the street and three dudes want to fight you, you're going to fight. You're not just going to turn around and run away. And that's why it doesn't sit right with me that we're sending a lot of supplies for civilians to fight back, because these civilians will fight back. And the reality is that if Ukraine can withstand this assault from Russia, this invasion from Putin on their people, and they do fight them back and Russia has to give up, that would be amazing. They all go down as heroes. They all go down as really, really brave people that kept Ukraine what it is, even though Ukraine was not a peach. Ukraine was highly corrupt. It's got its own issues, but that would be amazing. And that would say everyone in the world that was helping Ukraine, sending weapons, all the Ukrainian government that was encouraging civilians to fight and die for their country, it was worth it. But even then you could say, is death really worth it? And does anyone really win in war? But if Russia ends up overpowering Ukraine in the next couple of weeks, then someone can make the argument that every single person that died for Ukraine in the past couple of months, they did so with nothing fruitful coming from it. It was just encouraged and championed by nationalism for your country. It was encouraged by every single social media post that's saying, look at how heroic this person is. They grabbed a rifle, they went and fought, but they died. And the wife and the children are now left to survive for themselves? And is it really the correct thing to have done? This is why morals discussed in war, it's so difficult, and you don't know what this is leading to. Right now it's just a conflict between Russia and Ukraine, but the world is so globally interconnected nowadays that is it really a conflict just between Russia and Ukraine? I mean, right now Putin is saying, if you declare a no-fly zone, he's saying this to NATO, America, anyone that stands up for Ukraine and says there's a no-fly zone above Ukraine and they're going to shoot down basically Russian jets or anything that flies over, this is basically a declaration of war. And he says there will be World War III. And the really scary thing is with a guy like Putin that wants to be the next Lenin, he wants to relive the Soviet Union glory days. He is right now looking weak because the Russian army didn't do what everybody thought they would do. They seem to be not as coordinated and as powerful as people believe them to be. And so it's a bad look on Russia, and this is something that he is not pleased with. I don't know if the people around him are telling him lies, but clearly they are not doing as well as they thought they would. However, they are progressing. If you look at the map, I mean, they are getting closer to sectioning off Ukraine from the west and the east. They're closing in on Kyiv. So it is getting very interesting. It's like a really evil raccoon being backed into a corner as far as Putin goes. And so I feel like he has nothing left to lose, really. He's all in. Like if this is a poker game, he's all in right now. Whether he's bluffing or he actually has the manpower and he's just softening the ground, he is all in right now. And that makes it a very scary thing. And I believe that crypto, as it has, will continue to be integrated and dominate a lot of the headlines in the financial space for months to come. And it would actually be curious to see if in the long run this helps or hurts crypto. And so I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Is there blood on crypto's hands? And if so, should there be more regulation of crypto? Is that actually good? Or will that destroy the fabric of what crypto is? And thereby, what crypto should be is just exist. No moral compass, no values, no morals, no ethics, not someone that could say this is wrong, so we need to punish, or this is being stolen, so we need to freeze, or this person is evil, so they are no longer allowed to use this free, decentralized, deregulated system. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it in the comments. Please pray for peace. If you're someone that has family or friends in Ukraine, I feel for you. If you know someone that has family or friends in Ukraine, please check up on them, see how they're doing. Please make sure that you're taking care of not just your portfolio these days, but your sanity. I really do pray for a resolution quickly that leads to not many lives being lost. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next video.